What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cryptophiles, episode Lucky 13. We don't say unlucky here. I'm Jesse. Along with me is the Killbot, who is feeling a little under the weather. Colds suck.
Yes. I've been bewitched with a hereditary curse of a cold.
So you have the cold of Panama.
Yes. Heads are going to roll.
You better watch that cold and make sure it doesn't get worse, or you're going to end up in a transvestite. Oh, fuck, I forgot what it was.
I'm going to wind up in a transvestite.
You're going to wind up in a transvestite's domain.
Ooh. I don't know. That'd be a different cold. Well, I'm excited for these films.
Yeah, I am too. To pull back the curtain a little bit, we give each other phrases to get in, and I don't know if I really did that one well.
You slid it right in there. You just seamlessly.
I was working on it all day.
You got it in.
Yeah, we're doing Hereditary and the Witch, but before that, What have you checked out, sir? Anything?
A few things here and there since last episode 12. Something I wanted to talk about was A Night in the Woods from 2013. Found footage set in the UK, and it's the main actor who was in Monsters.
Oh.
I can't think of his name.
I know you mean.
We liked him.
Yeah.
Monsters. I think you and I both liked him a lot.
That movie's really good.
That is a good movie. I liked it a lot, but I didn't think the sequel was fantastic to Monsters.
I stayed away from it just because you said it wasn't that great, so I didn't want to bother. Like, is it even worth it?
Yeah, it's probably worth a once-over, but I thought the story was a lot better than the first. But A Night in the Woods, 2013, it kind of gets into the lore of the huntsman of whatever area that is in the UK. It attacks in the middle of the night, he marks you with I believe a cross on the forehead. You think, oh, I've been blessed or marked. No, you've been cursed. You need to be killed. And these woods of England are really, really, or England or the UK, horrible. I don't know where that is, but somewhere in the UK, in these woods, and you have this type of possible entity in these woods hunting down these three people, very much Blair Witch style.
Should we do it on the show?
Yes, okay. I will absolutely pick it.
Okay,
absolutely.
Do we ever see it?
The huntsman?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm stuttering tonight. Must be the cold. Oh, it's something we will be doing on this show, and I've talked to you about. It is called Frostbiter, AKA, I believe it's also called Wrath of the Wendigo.
I want to see this so bad ever since you first told me about it.
You must see this. It's a trauma. So it is available. I think isn't like all trauma available on YouTube. I think
almost all of them are. Yeah.
I believe the Lloyd Kaufman himself has said we put them on YouTube for everybody. So check it out. Frostbiter from, did I put the year on this? Yeah, 95. And it's a guitar player, Iggy Pop's guitar player, directed and stars in this movie about a Wendigo. And it's kind of shot, I guess it's up north, like Canada, I believe. And it kind of had a soundtrack ahead of its time. Like some alternative bands that came out, like Sublime was on it.
Oh.
And Elvis Hitler. I've heard of that. I don't really know exactly who that is. This was Ron Ashton who did this.
Don't they have a halfway decent Bigfoot movie too?
Yeah, I think it's just called Bigfoot.
Yeah, I think you've told me about it.
But this is great. It's Trauma. It's distributed by Trauma. It's not like Trauma like Lloyd Kaufman did it. And the intro is awesome on it. It's got Sergeant Kabuki Man and Lloyd Kaufman introducing the movie. So if you can find this under that, it's under the Trauma label. Like if you can buy it like that, it would be worth having. But if you like the cryptids and you like Wendigos, and we've talked about them before, but there's not a lot of movies about them. Well, here's one. So
did you ever see that Wendigo movie from the 90s that I feel like I always saw at Blockbuster but never rented?
Yes, it has the child from Malcolm in the Middle in it.
Is it good?
I cannot tell you. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Anything about it.
I remember always seeing it at Blockbuster.
We might have to check it out for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Blockbuster staple, wasn't it?
Maybe we'll have to do a Wendigo episode.
Oh, that would be awesome. I also watched The Unnameable too. I talked about we got The Unnameable on Blu-ray last couple weeks ago, so I watched the sequel on DVD, and I watched The Rage Carrie 2. I have not seen that since it was probably a new release.
That is one of those movies that I've always heard horror stories about. How is it?
I thought it was fun as hell. I thought it was a blast.
Do you think is it a situation where everybody bitches because it's a sequel to Carrie and you don't need it, and they don't judge the movie on its own?
I guess so. It kind of has that '90s almost made. Maybe was it made for television? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But it almost has that feel, but it has that '90s kind of fun feel to me. I bitch about the '90s sometimes, but it has that.
You know.
I don't know. I know. We went back and forth about this one.
What?
The '90s. I bitched about the '90s.
I don't. If you really look at it, though, I don't think it's as bad as people say. Like there is some fun shit that's there.
I agreed. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Is it tied into the original one at all?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
The one lady from the first one is herself in it. One of the teachers. He's a teacher at this school, and yeah, it ties into it quite well, actually.
I feel like I need to watch it.
You do need to watch it. And Mandy, I finally watched Mandy.
Yes.
With Nicolas Cage, highly recommended by you, and a friend of mine, Gary, also was talking about it, and hell yeah, it lived up to the hype.
It is so good.
Everything you said, yeah.
I mean, I know he gets some shit, but this is really good. He's really good in it.
I didn't like the first movie this director did, that Black Mirror, or Behind that. Wasn't that what it was called?
I know what you mean, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
I didn't dislike
or
it.
Did I? Did you say I did?
I thought you did, but I couldn't remember. It's been a while. Very psychedelic style. I love the psychedelic style in this because it was backed up with brutality.
Yeah, the brutality in this is just
revenge.
It's like, to me, I would think it's like, this is going to be a weird analogy, but just stick with me. It's like if you were a kid and were playing with your action figures and like wanted to have the ultimate revenge possible. That's just what this feels like.
Oh, I kind of see that. Okay.
It's like a video game level of revenge. How about that? We'll put it that way.
It really is. And it was shot beautiful. And I'm not a person who goes on and on about psychedelic anything. I'm like, ooh, it's not my thing. I don't like David Lynch. That's not my thing. Not that David Lynch is psychedelic, but just, I put it with some of that style, maybe.
And I don't know what it is, if it's me or what. I don't see what all the hype is behind Twin Peaks. I tried, I just can't.
Yeah, that's above my brain level, I guess. I can't get into it. That's okay. I'm not knocking it, but I love Mandy. Mandy was awesome. I purchased it on your recommendation, and a couple other people, and I'm glad. It's awesome.
I'm glad that you like the stuff I recommend, because you've been buying things that I've recommended lately, and I'm like, well, he's bound to not like something, but luckily I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm hanging on a lot on that, because I don't buy that many movies anymore.
I don't either. So
if I buy something, it has to be something like that.
To be honest, I don't either. So if I'm gonna buy something, then I would highly recommend it to anybody.
Same here. Yeah.
Like Hereditary, I pre-ordered Hereditary. That's how much I love that.
Spoiler. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Spoiler.
Oh, we did. There was your review, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Oh, we're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into it. But that was all I've watched. I haven't watched much. We've moved our warehouse. I've been super busy at work, so sorry, and I'm wiped out, and I've got a cold. So tonight, the show is pretty much on Jesse tonight, folks. I'm here, but more in spirit than in body.
A little birdie told me you started Hill House.
Yes, I started Hill House. I loved it. Loved the first episode. Wow, it ends with a banger.
Oh yeah, I forgot what it ended with, but now I remember.
I like how they kind of stick with the Hill House theme, even with the name Hugh Crane, and I got a few other things.
Yeah, it's not excuse me.
It's bored him to the point of just...
Jesus God. It's not a direct adaptation of the book, but like there's little nods, like some of the characters.
Sure.
There's an Eleanor, I think. somewhere.
That's right, Eleanor. Yeah, I forgot about the name Eleanor. Yeah, but that house is awesome. You said you finished it, right? Well, you'll get into that when we get into what you've watched.
Yeah. Let's see.
I started it, and I also started one more thing. I want to talk real fast.
Sorry.
I'm
Sure.
done with my thing real fast. I started the Sabrina. The what's it called? The
Chilling Adventures.
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great.
Did you see where the Satanic Temple is suing them?
Yeah, but I didn't click on it. I seen some clickbait.
It's something to do with, I guess they're saying their statue of Baphomet is copyrighted, and they're saying that the Sabrina team's version looks very similar to theirs, so they're suing.
Does our Baphomet look like theirs?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh. I think it's sued. Didn't see that. Enjoyed the show, though.
Yeah, I guess they're suing them for like $15 million or something like that.
Okay.
I
thought Salem was awesome, too. You're going to love the cat.
Yeah, I remember. I didn't watch a lot of the sitcom.
I actually have.
But I remember Salem. Like, I like Salem.
You'll like this Salem. Yeah. What have you watched?
Let's see. A ton of shit for jump scares, and other than this show, I'm really not watching much horror or any. I'm burnt out, and like I said, every episode of jump scares, I'm changing the format next year because it's just too taxing. And I did it to myself, I know that, but I didn't get to watch, and it's my own fault, but I didn't have the time to watch one Halloween favorite. I didn't watch Trick or Treat. I didn't watch the original Halloween. So,
you know what? I didn't either. Think of it, man. I didn't even watch the Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin.
I did get a chance to watch that.
It made my heart. I felt it made my heart well. I think that's how you say it. I'm so tired. When you said you found some love for the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah, because you were here from day one when I was not a fan.
Oh, yeah. I remember. It used to be like, what the hell, dude?
I love it now. I love it. I don't know what the hell. I do not know what was wrong with me.
Did you grow up with it?
I should have, but it's one of those things that, like, I watched a little bit and was bored, so I never, gave it a shot.
So when Halloween came around, you weren't like, oh, Mom.
No. But it's weird. Okay. I appreciate that and the whole, obviously the Peanuts, I can't read the comic strip, but I appreciate the animated specials a lot more now for some reason. Like, I love the Christmas one. I love the I'm all on board now, but I don't know why it took me to adulthood to be, and I think it all started a few years back. I went and saw the Peanuts movie when it came out, that new one.
I remember, yeah.
Loved it.
Did you?
It is so good. Like, it honestly feels like it would, I mean, it's obviously now, but it feels like it would fit right in with those specials. That's how good it was.
Oh, cool.
In my opinion.
Do you remember the Garfield Halloween special or movie?
I do. That's another one that I never watched a lot of, but I know I've seen it, and I know it's on YouTube. I don't know. I need to, it was
we might just have to have a Halloween one of these weekends, man, and just say, you know what? If the man
we might
actually do Halloween.
It's just weird, like.
Sure, we didn't just here was not Halloween.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like. And for me, a lot of it was like Hill House, which I finished, and I'll get into in a second. That kind of made Halloween the day for me because that's when we finished it.
Oh, that was on Halloween, wasn't it? Good deal. Yeah.
But I think a lot of my problem too was everything peaked by seeing the new Halloween. So after that, I was like, nothing will match up. And it was just a really weird feeling. It was. I was a different kid. Like, for me, when I was younger, I always wanted to watch, like, the action-oriented cartoons. Like, I never really watched Garfield. I don't know what it was, but I wanted to watch, like, Ninja Turtles and shit like that.
Gotcha.
So, but I'm so on board with, I want to see all the Charlie Brown specials because I know there's a lot out there. Like, I want to see the ones that aren't even loved as much just because I love the whole feel of them.
Yeah, like Thanksgiving and Easter and all those. I think they're all fun.
Check out the movie, though, if you get a chance.
Yeah, I will. I absolutely. I kind of forgot about
it. The other day, it was on a Facebook post. Somebody commented and brought up the person who I call a troll that I dated, and they're calling her a goblin. So now I'm thinking goblin might be a better word, but I have to. Not giving her credit, but she's the reason I watched the Charlie Brown movie.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
not the cryptid fish. Okay.
No,
okay.
no. Not the Sasquatch of Western Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I finished Hill House, and I had such an emotional ride and roller coaster with this show that
I'll vouch for this.
I have not been able to watch any like TV shows, like binge anything since, and this is like Hereditary on steroids just because it's a lot longer.
Yeah, I seen the rise and fall of you emotionally that day.
Yeah, I wrote that paragraph like the next day.
He needed textual support, people.
Oh my god, it was bad. Like
I love it. I love how movies affect you like that. I love that.
It was so bad. I'm just like, oh.
Not in a bad way, but I mean, just
no. But I was emotionally drained after that show.
That's escapism, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I wasn't thinking about anything else.
No, it's like virtual reality for you.
I've watched a lot of TV shows. I watched Halloween baking into the Holiday Baking Championships. I just that stuff's so relaxing to me for some reason. I don't know why, but I can like easily watch like 2 or 3 episodes of that if I get behind. Because you don't need to like focus that strongly as if it was like a regular TV show. You can kind of just do your thing.
Make their cupcakes.
Yeah, I could eat some cupcakes. What else? I watched Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom today. It was okay.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the last one. I know you and I are different on that, but this one was good. It was just kind of there, and that's very depressing when a movie's just kind of there.
I enjoyed it. The last one, I didn't love it, but I didn't dislike it.
Well, yeah, no, everything you were saying makes sense too. I had said to you too, I would rather watch a bad movie and like this sucks than something I was looking forward to that ends up just being kind of there.
I feel you there.
I watched Hotel Transylvania 3 yesterday, and I feel like I watched something else, and I always do this. I cannot remember what it was. Oh, shitloads of Christmas movies from Hallmark.
Oh, you watched the Hallmark.
Follow me on Facebook. You can see what I watch.
It's pretty extreme.
I have very, that's two varies, but extremely varied tastes when it comes to things.
You're like a scented candle that you just can't put what is that? It smells good. I love that smell, but what is it?
I am. I'm a human version of the Bath and Body Works or whatever that other candle company is. That's name I can't remember right now.
Yankee Candle.
That's the one. Yep.
You Yankee.
So, which one of these two do you want to start with?
Let's go. Let's go way back to the Vivitch or Witch.
Yeah, is it spelled with V's? Is that why people do that? Say that?
The director said it was kind of a old English style of writing that you would see things spelled like, especially like an old proclamation or decree. When you'd see something written, it would be written like that, like with the. There's a name for that, and I don't know.
Is it supposed to be pronounced witch though?
Yeah, it's supposed to be pronounced.
Okay. This movie is from 2015. I remember all the hype this had behind it. I mean, it had everybody talking. Like, every advanced review said that it was going to change modern horror, that it's like something we haven't seen before. Stephen King said that it terrified him. So when I went in to watch this, I remember being so excited and coming out of it excited, but in a way that I never expected. Like, I don't know why I expected this to be like a jump scare fest from the trailers. If you ever watch the trailers, I don't think they really do the movie justice for what it is. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I had a good time with it. I loved it from the first time I seen it. I think I said to somebody, I may have been arguing with about it, I said, it's the witch movie I always wanted. I mean, we got a ton of witchcraft movies. That's where they're burning and torturing. Possible, could have been maybe, but probably not witches. You know, we've seen that movie I don't know how many times. No, we get a real witch in this. and all the witchcraft lore. When I think of witchcraft, when I think of Salem and the that time period, if there really was witches running around the woods, this is what I couldn't have dreamed this up. It's even maybe scarier than the imagination for me. I love it. It's a dark fairy tale. It's everything I want.
Yeah.
When I go into a movie called The Witch, this is what I'm looking for. It's subtle and creepy, and that's what I look for. I loved it. I had a great time with it.
Yeah, I when I went into it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be really good, but probably jump scares. I did not expect this movie to affect me on the level it did. Like,
it affected me too.
It got under my skin, and people will say nothing happened, but you're kind of missing the point if you feel that way.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be. I mean, there's a couple scenes where things go on, but it's not eye popping. Like, grab your attention. You have to let it kind of infect you in a way. Like, let it under your skin. It burrows into your imagination. I mean,
I feel you.
It kind of it feels like it burrows into you.
Sure. Yeah. Keep it quiet in the house. Turn the lights off. It's one of them kind of movies. Don't. This ain't a movie you're gonna half pay attention to and then be like, oh, it was boring and stuff. I don't know. I just didn't care. Nothing happened.
You cannot be on your phone when you're watching this.
I could get that from some people on this. There's not a lot of witches flying around wiggling their nose, shaking their butts or whatever.
But I feel like the stuff that is there makes such an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff you do see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful movie. The way it's shot, even like the hue of the tint of the film, or however when they do it. I mean, it's got that kind of late fall feel to it. Kind of like we're getting into now. It's past Halloween. Kind of, I don't know, witching feeling kind of time of year. So it's perfect kind of time of year for this movie. And I'll even get into a little bit like the way the witch looks, the witch of the wood that lives out in these New England woods. That's what a witch is supposed to look like. Repulsive, kind of, I don't know.
They're not supposed to be sexy.
No, and there's a scene where she is
right.
For a minute.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
She's doing a spell type thing to entice a little boy. But yeah, I see what you mean.
That's a very uncomfortable scene too.
It is an uncomfortable scene. Boy, do they ever have a beautiful... She's an Australian swimsuit model playing the witch in this scene. Kind of picture the gingerbread... If you haven't seen this movie, picture it like the gingerbread house. And Hansel and Gretel's going through the woods and they come on this house, but it's just Hansel. And there is this hot witch, kind of enticing him in there. And I believe it was this kid's first kiss. Wow, kid.
Like that whole scene was very uncomfortable though. If you for me, it's like this just isn't right.
I mean, there's a baby abduction.
That was hard to watch too.
There's possible possession type. I mean, this family. The reason I kind of like the motivation of this, and some people have complained that you're beat over the head with the oppression of their religion. Okay,
but you know what though? In the time period, that's what they were going through. That's
what I'm wanting to get at here.
Yeah,
I like the motivation because the father here and the mother, my lord, there was no two more pious people in the world. They left. What I get out of this is they left civilization so they could be more pious off by themselves. So anything to them was witchcraft. It was of the devil. It was, that type thing. Well, no, this was actually witchcraft that fell upon them. And I don't think there's any hazy, was this dreamed up? Was anybody poisoned? Nothing like that.
It feels that way. I mean, you could see that until the very end.
Exactly right. You're exactly right. Well, and the beginning too. Come to think of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's no gray area on it. Like I say, it's a fairy tale. It's an extremely dark fairy tale. Is what it feels like to me.
And I will argue people that say this isn't a horror movie. To me, it is. Horror doesn't always have to be blood or guts and jump scares. As much as I love that stuff, it doesn't have to be that.
The baby's guts make it a horror movie to me.
Oh my god. And if you have a problem I've seen people complain about the language. This is how people talked in the 1600s. They're not making Romeo and Juliet like they did with Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio, where they spoke like in modern times. Like this is set up the way they spoke. You can put on the subtitles if you're having problems understanding it, because when I was in
my girlfriend had to the first time we watched it. She's like, I'm turning these subtitles on.
Yeah, and when we were in the theater, the troll goblin she barely made out anything. She was one of those people too that didn't like it. And I'm like, we're driving home, and I'm sitting there like,
she identified with it too much, brother.
Yeah, but it's funny. I'm sitting there jumping at like every noise. When we walked out of that theater, I don't know if it's the religious aspect. I just felt like I watched evil on film, and I was jumpy for the rest of the night. I was so unsettled the first time I watched this movie.
We didn't even get into Black Phillip yet.
No,
Do we not love this movie? I mean,
yes, we need to get into Black Phillip.
This is the coolest goat you're ever going to see. You're ever going to ever think we'd be quoting a goat.
Kelly, just make sure you live deliciously.
That's right. You like butter. I like butter.
Yeah.
This beautiful blonde gal on here liked butter. And the hair, the rabbit, it was just so creepy. And if you look back in even medieval literature, like the hair, I think our early shows, we even read some stories of the haunted hare,
Yeah, I think we did.
The familiar, and this definitely gets into the familiars. And I don't know. I think most people listening to this have seen this movie. I'm probably cussing us, but I think these kids were talking to Black Phillip for a long time.
Yeah,
I think he was whispering in their ears.
And I love the fact, and I love the fact that when we do hear from him, it's not like this demonic voice. It's velvety. It's fucking creepy. It's like, honestly, when I think of the devil and what he would sound like, it's not like Pinhead. It's what Black Phillip sounded like.
Yeah.
He just had this real velvety voice, and he just drew you in. I love hearing that trivia that they wanted to do more with Black Phillip, but the goat wasn't cooperating.
The director said he will never work with goats again. He said the rabbit was amazing, but the goats, no. I like the little kids in this film. They are hilarious, no matter what. And there's some real tense things going on with this.
There is, yeah.
Puritan type family, and they're half starving. The dad looks emaciated. And there's these two little kids, and they're just little shitheads. But they're lovable. And they're in the background playing in the mud, throwing stuff at each other. Just little shithead kids. Almost all the way to the end,
And to go back to what you were saying earlier about people being hit over the head with the message, that was life in this time period.
Yeah, it's kind of the point of the movie. I mean, that they moved away because even
it wasn't religious enough.
Nope, y'all are sinning too much. We got to move out here and get away from all sin. And,
did they move by choice, or were they excommunicated?
I think it was kind of an excommunication, but I got what you kind of get from the father, who was an awesome actor. This guy, his presence and his voice is amazing.
Yep.
You kind of get from them that they kind of wanted to separate them, and just be away themselves. And you kind of get the thought that the daughter did something.
I think, yeah, you do hear, they do reference that, but you never know what.
And, I very well could have missed that, whatever. But I think that's kind of the point of the film, the piety, the righteousness, we want to get so right with, however you feel about that, either side of whatever. But
and both these movies have something else. I was just going to say, we pick these movies and they line up, but both of them also have we see the destruction of a family.
Oh, we do. Eternally. of our main actors. Because it was Willem and Catherine were the parents.
Anyway, you broke up a little bit.
The teenage daughter. I thought she was amazing. Oh, the teenage daughter. I can't. I'm horrible with names anyway. I can't remember her name. She was amazing in this. And you kind of see her dark side come out even before, it's a real dark side. And you just see her side. I did a great job. Kind of a wrestling inside of her with some good and some evil. Because, I think out of everyone, she's the one who kind of was being out there in the middle of nowhere in this situation. And I thought she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, she did. She's also in Split. I don't know. I forget if you've seen that or not.
Really? Okay. No, I have not seen that. No.
Yeah, okay. She's kind of the main actress in that, too.
And the Game of Thrones fans will know the mother was in Game of Thrones for a couple seasons.
Was the dad, too, or was it just the mother?
I don't think the dad was.
Okay.
Awesome actor.
This is just... I mean, we've hyped it up. Everybody knows about this if you haven't seen it. Like I said, if you haven't seen this, go into it, seriously, turn off your phone. You can't get wrapped up in other things. You need to kind of let it wash over you.
For a first-time watch, this isn't even it's not a background movie. You do have to...
No.
It's a thinker, folks, it's not... it's not Cannibal Holocaust. I think some people, that's all they ever want, blood and guts splashing up on the screen. It's a thinker, If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But don't like it for the...
Give it a chance.
Give it a chance before you just start saying nothing happened.
What would you rate this, unless you have something else to add?
No, I think I've covered, my thoughts on it.
Okay.
I get a little excited. This is one I get a little excited for. This is one of my main movies I go to be honest with you. Like the Blair Witch Project. It's filed right next to my Blair Witch Project.
It's so weird to say this is such an intense movie and such a dark movie, but it's got to the point now where I put it on. It's like a comfort movie in a weird way.
I have to agree with you there, and I've done that a couple times on a rainy Sunday afternoon. I've popped this on. I know what you mean, buddy.
What would you rate this?
I have one more thing I wanted to say.
Oh, sure.
I had seen, maybe it was in the Blair Witch group, Facebook group somewhere, somebody asked Eduardo Sanchez, director of the Blair Witch Project, hey, do you think you would ever do a prequel, on Ellie Kedward and the Blair Witch? And he said, nah. He said, next year there's a movie coming out that's doing it better than I ever could have, and it was this film. So if you think about it, this is a little prequel-y to the Blair Witch Project.
That is a great way to, that just makes everything better.
It kind of does, doesn't it? I have to agree. They tie in well if you're going to do a double. And I have done that a couple times. Oh, my rating. I'm so sorry. My rating is 5 completely. I would go 6, but 5's our cutoff. 5, yeah.
This is 5 wood knocks from 5 gigantic Sasquatch.
Oh my gosh.
This is awesome. So, from there, we go into the destruction of a family again. 2018's Hereditary.
Oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna start off here.
Yes, I was gonna. You can. I took the last. I started the last one. You can start this one.
Because this is another one that you had talked about, and I had read about here and there. Was kind of excited for it to come out. Did you see this in the theater?
Yep. Twice, actually. Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
I did see, because I went with my uncle once, and then my cousin Gavin wanted to go see it, so I went again.
And I was my interest was piqued, and I thought, it looked good. The trailer looked good, but I honestly thought, and I'm not dissing when I say this, but I thought it kind of looked like a James Wan film, kind of Conjuring,
See, that's how I felt like, to go back to The Witch a second, the trailer for that was. That's what I thought we were getting. Yeah.
Okay. And I tend to be just fine with those films, enjoy them, love some, just a lot. But I thought, okay, I'll get into it. And, when I finally did, I got this 2 or 3 weeks ago and got to watch it.
And then you heard from me, and I was like, no, it's not James Wan.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I was going to say, it was not. This is a whole level darker. It is a dark film, and I'm glad I watched it twice, honestly, because I'll get into it a little bit later, but it affected me. It really affected me. I'll put it like that. Loss, the feeling of loss in this film, aside from the terror, that I think is, I would say terror, and it takes a lot for me to say terror in a horror film.
Yeah, it is terror. You're right. I would agree.
In this, mixed together, is just a soup of, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I've watched it twice.
It is not a happy movie.
It is not a happy movie. And I have a hard time comparing it to much, to be honest with you. It's kind of its own thing to me. So, I mean, go ahead.
I heard a lot about this, and then we went to the movies to see it. This has, in my opinion, the best portrayal of grief that I have ever seen on film. Something happens in this movie that I didn't see coming, and when you'll know the part, and I was like, holy shit, in the theater. And the way the mother character reacts is one of the most heart-wrenching things I have ever seen.
Oh my God, you are not kidding. The mother's reaction might even have been worse than the scene itself.
I think it was, yeah.
Screams, the moans, oh man, almost like a travail or something. It was like guttural. That's some good acting right there, Toni Collette.
You would think you were watching like some reality show where they were showing of someone's reaction to death. Like it was that intense.
Oh, and the pacing of this film was great because you get a gut punch. Man, that's pretty quick in this film. Before you're even set up, I think you're just getting to know these characters, and you get a gut punch to the soul. I mean,
in a lot of movies, I think like you would have one gut punch and that'd be it, but this just ratchets it up even more. That's just the start. And
it gets into something I liked about this story is something I complained to you about the first time when I saw it. It was funny because I watched it at about 2 a.m. after we recorded one time doing a show, and I'm glad I watched it again and caught it because when you get into, like I say, sometimes these stories are convoluted, and it's my only complaint with the Paranormal Activity franchise. Mm-hmm. I thought the story got a bit much for a jump scare type ghost film.
It did. Footage. Like they tried to do more, yeah.
And curses upon a family, and deals with cults and blah blah blah. That's just a bit much because it's supposed to be ghosts scaring you. Why do we need anyway? And this gets like that, but this backstory I think is kind of brilliant. To be honest with you, I mean we're getting into like a Old Testament, maybe pre-Old Testament style, Middle Eastern curses and gods and different commanders or different whatever of hell. I like this storyline where it got into that type of story, like a cursed family tree type thing. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and I think it works for this because you get, you get the family stuff and then you get the backstory. I just think everything fit together really well.
I think so. And well acted by everybody. The dad, wasn't it Gabriel Byrne? God,
yeah.
I mean, he was fantastic. And I think he might have been a more sympathetic character to me than the son, which is kind of revolving around a little bit.
I was not a big fan of the son.
Really? See, I was.
I mean, I was a little bit, but I don't know. I didn't feel for him as I don't know why.
Because we have it kind of, I guess it centers around the son as much as it does the mother.
Yeah.
Because they've just lost a grandmother, and she sounded like a piece of work, and she had dementia, and she had Alzheimer's, and she wasn't a real likable person, and even before that. And I think you get into that with Toni Collette's character, who would be the mother of this family. There's a daughter and a son, and a husband. And she's been kind of convalescing and taking care of the mother who had a dementia type thing, and they didn't have a good relationship.
No.
And we find out Grandma was into some crazy shit.
Now that I think about it after I said it, though,
mm-hmm.
I mean, you do have to feel for the son, though, because he gets fucked. Like, without spoiling, he gets fucked.
Yeah. And we are going to go a little spoilery here, so if you haven't seen this, maybe close one ear. But was the son was that dad just the father of that son?
I thought he was the father of both, but maybe he wasn't.
Because remember, okay, the mom has an episode because you see the mom has issues, and you could argue whether it was possession, what's going on, and maybe the mom also had some dementia early onset. I kind of caught that a little too.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the mom kind of freaks out in the middle of the night and sleepwalks, and at one time she tells a story of she dumped paint thinner on her daughter and son and woke herself up, striking a match standing over them. So we have a history of kind of weirdness going on. But when she wakes the son up in the middle of the night, and she's kind of, and I've had some things in my life, and a family member with some extreme psychological issues, so I could kind of identify with this a little bit, and it made it even a little more terrifying, to be perfectly honest. But what I wondered about the son was, she said, "I never wanted to have you. I didn't want to raise you," in one of her nighttime weird.
Yeah, she.
But my
and
mom,
he's like so ruined by that, and as anybody would be.
He cries. He sounds like a little boy crying because what he sees happen with him, and
yeah, I take back what I don't know what the hell I was thinking. You do feel for this kid. I don't.
Did an article come through, and I think we may have put it in the Cryptophiles group, where he was seeking counseling for PTSD.
Yeah, he's pretty messed up.
And I said to my girlfriend today, we were talking about it, and I said, she hasn't seen this, and I want her to see it. I said, I think that was legit. I don't think that's just some viral marketing.
I think we saw a child break on film. I truly believe that. Like, there's a scene, without spoiling, when that one part you were saying when he cries. At first, I was like, I hate to say it, like chuckling. Just
the way he's kind of bellowing, right?
Yes. I chuckled,
yes,
and then when I thought about it more, I was like, this kid is broken to the point where he is
out. He's gone.
He is a preteen or a teen, whatever, that is regressed to like infant levels of.
His mother is waking him up in the middle of the night, standing over him. It's so creepy.
And we would all be that way, but at first I'm like, what is that? I was like chuckling, like that's his cry, and then I thought about it more, and I'm like.
Well, and we're not even taking into a fact.
He is ruined.
This gut punch involved him. I mean, he was there. He's seen.
How about, like, without spoiling, or I don't know, I might spoil a little bit. How about how he, like, just goes on that night and, like, goes to bed after that happens? He's just, you can tell he's just completely shut down.
Yeah, we'll just say there was a car accident involving him and a family member.
Yeah.
And he just kind of, after it happens, I don't know what you would do. I don't know. But after it happens, the camera, and I don't know how long it went, but I didn't time it, but I paid attention on watching it for the show. The camera just looks at his face, and he's sitting there pushing on the brake, sitting there on the side of the road after something totally dramatic. I don't know in film or cinema that I could compare it to anything. And the camera is just sitting on his face, and you're just, I don't know. You put yourself in that situation. Shit, you know. What do you do? What would you know? And he has to go home and tell his parents what just happened.
But he doesn't, though. Doesn't he go to bed?
I don't know how. And I honestly tried to pay attention watching it, and I couldn't figure that out.
I thought he went to
screaming in the bedroom.
I thought he went to bed, and then I thought she got up to go to the store in the morning. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I saw it. I could be wrong, though.
But when she's screaming, when she finds out what happened to her child, there's no coming back. And she was kind of a sad person before that even happened.
Yeah, she had a lot of trauma before that. And there's a part when a very uncomfortable scene when they're at the dinner table and him and her kind of go at it.
Oh my gosh, right. After this has happened.
Yeah,
starts off very passive aggressive. And then it starts hitting nerves, man. I mean, oh my gosh.
And this poor dad, he's just dragged into all this shit.
And he doesn't believe any of this curse that's happening. And our mom, Toni Collette, kind of befriends somebody. And she's not someone who would have friends necessarily. She's kind of a loner.
I did not expect the turn with that. I should have, but I did not expect the twist with that.
We get a twist with that. And she does like her thing to de-stress or whatever. Like she does miniature models. She's always in her room doing these always off to herself. Well, she meets a friend at a grief counseling meeting, and this friend, there's a good twist with that. But then later in the film, with the son, and he's at school, and stuff's just, he's definitely cursed. Something's going on. He can tell something's not right.
Yeah.
Even after this horrific car accident.
And the friend shows up there.
When you have a middle-aged, someone, just say you're at school, you're sitting there eating a sandwich at a park bench or your picnic table, but across the way is a middle-aged woman, looks like somebody's grandma, a nice lady, screaming Latin at you from across traffic. It is frightening.
Yep.
I thought that was a powerful, effective scene.
There is no wasted moment in this movie.
There really isn't. If nothing's happening, it's kind of a sad, somber.
There is nothing lighthearted about this. There's nothing like that. You don't catch a breather. It's just straight, intense. Whatever you want to call it. It's just tension is insane throughout the whole movie.
There's really good effects in this too, and I'll say this: there's no cheesy CGI. There is some ghost type effects and some stuff like that. It's really well done. It's like there's nothing that's going to take you out of it effect wise at all. It's not like we're selling this movie for just $19.95. No, anyway, I love this movie.
There's a part in this movie where we see someone's head in the house. I think what happened was I was so just intense by so messed up by what I was watching. I just started laughing in the theater. It was all after that kid cried. I just started laughing. And when you see the head, I turned to my uncle and I said, if that dog picks up the fucking head and runs, I'm going to die. I for some reason thought the dog was going to take the head.
Lucy would take the head.
She would. But then watching it the second time, nothing was supposed to be funny, but I think that was my way of releasing the tension. Because you would have thought I watched, I don't even know what, I just was giggling my ass off. It was very uncomfortable. First time.
The Benny Hill music had nothing to do with it.
No. And that was in my head! This is another one of those movies, though, by the end that similar to The Witch, I thought I watched something evil. With that the light does not win in this movie.
No, it definitely doesn't. It's much like The Witch. If you're looking for a happy ending, you're not in the right place.
Watch these, then watch. Well,
I guess it depends on how you look at it. I guess they both can have happy endings if you're on the other end of a certain spectrum here.
Well,
you can learn to fly.
The Haunting of Hill House is similar to this in that it's like the destruction of a family, but at least at the end of the 10 episodes, it doesn't all end in shit. So.
Oh. And I'm going to say this about the son. The son looks very Middle Eastern. He looks like Kumar from Harold and Kumar. He really straight up does.
I wonder if he is someone else's son.
And Gabriel Byrne does not look Middle Eastern.
Yeah, I wonder if he is someone else's son, though.
And Toni Collette does not. And, well, if you see the way this plays out in the end,
we're going to have to talk about
Predestination?
We're going to have to talk about this off the air, because
We'll go.
I
have a theory on it.
Okay.
But it was a good film to me. It didn't have that, and I'm not dissing Juan again. Any of his style, I tend to like this a lot. But this is kind of a next level for me. I hope we get more films like this, if that makes sense to you.
I do too. As much as I love the James Wan style, and I do, these affect me on a deeper level. I love The Conjurings. I love the second Annabelle. I don't think James Wan did it, but I like Sinister. I like a lot of that stuff. It's just.
It has that feel. I would put Sinister in that. I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's true. I would. They stick with me, and I love them too. But this is a whole nother level.
I think so. I have to agree with you there. And you know
like you said, I just want more movies like this.
Right. That was creepy.
Excuse the noise. Lucy just walked in.
But that was the creepiest door creak ever, bro.
It kind of was, wasn't it?
I think it's King Daimon or whatever his name was. He's there.
Was it Paimon or something like that?
Paimon, yeah. Oh no.
So not only do I have the creepiest door, Chucky is laying on my bed. So I have the Chucky doll on my bed and the door's creaking.
That's quite a guardian. No, he's your henchman.
I took his knife away from him so he doesn't stab me in the night.
Did Lucy chew it?
No, I don't know where it is actually.
That's not creepy.
She'll lay her paw on him though. It's funny.
Oh.
So do we want to rate this, or do you have something else to add?
I think that's all I got. But what I was gonna say, I can see how this wouldn't be for everybody. Honestly, parts of the ending, some people might not just may not be for them, and I get that completely. But for me, it's one I probably would recommend to any horror fan. Some people might not be able to take a couple of gut punches, so there'd be a warning involved, and I would warn somebody with this. Hey, it's a little.
I would with The Witch too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, for the same reasons. Honestly,
Yep.
Anytime there's children's deaths in a movie,
it's very
I'm not
hard.
someone who necessarily says, "Oh yeah, they did that. Oh, they were brave."
No, some people like hang their hat on that. Like that's something that's. Yeah. I don't get it.
And if someone says, "I can't watch a movie," or "I don't want to watch a movie with that," I do not blame you one bit.
I don't either, but there's people that do. Of course.
And yeah, some people get off on that. But okay, I'll give my rating. I'm going to go 4.5 on this one, actually.
I'm going to 5 again.
Nice.
This right now is my movie of the year. Nice. So.
I think it's mine too. I did go 4.5 and 5 on the last one, but as far as movie of the year, I think I'd have to go with this one. Yeah.
Do you know what you want to pick?
That was 13. Oh, no, I do not.
Okay, I don't either. So it'll be a surprise for everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about that during this week. Excuse me. I want to make sure we both can see it before I pick it.
Okay. Before we get out of here, whatever you have this, I just want to make sure I say this before I forget. Our show is also available on YouTube.
Sick.
If you look up Cryptophiles, and the only way I found that out is I randomly looked at my YouTube account, which the show is tied to, and realized. Thank you to the 30-some people that viewed last episode out of the blue with no advertising. Like, I don't even know how people figured out it was there, like what they searched for, but thank you to all 30-some people that listened to the last episode. That's awesome.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. That's awesome.
So, we are available on YouTube if you want to do it that way. Nice. I just wanted to make sure to remember that because you know me and forgetting. Do you have any shout-outs or anything?
No, just thanks to everybody who listens. I had a friend. I don't know that he wants to say his name on here, but he was doing a Cryptophiles marathon driving up the East Coast last night.
That is
pretty
awesome.
Cool. And I was like, awesome. Oh, thanks, man. I said, thanks for letting me know, man. I appreciate that. I was going to tell you.
I hope we entertained him.
So he said, he goes, there's so many movie snobs out there, and you guys are not, because I love it. And I said, thanks, man. I said, we are the anti-movie snobs. I said, we may go too far on our anti-snobbery sometimes.
The funny thing about movie snobs, and, we've known each other a long time, it's just funny to me seeing how we both are, that I got my start listening to movie snobs and didn't even realize it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have met otherwise. I said that.
Yeah, I did not realize, like, looking back now, I'm like, how did I ever think that was... I guess I didn't know myself and how I was going to, perceive things and stuff, so I thought that was the way everyone did it. And then...
I will never look down my nose on anyone.
6 years later, I'm like, that's not how I want to be. I can't believe that when I first started podcasting, wanted to emulate those people.
Right. I second you on that one. There were some snobs, and I think some people take themselves a little too serious.
Oh, they do.
And I try to keep myself in check, even in this little humble thing, because movies are for fun and recreation and escapism. And I know some people have movie making aspirations, whether you do or not or whatever. These are for fun. Don't cut somebody down for liking something or not liking something. That's a little childish and ridiculous. And I know I've been probably too vocal and too loud at times against that, to where it's, you stare at the abyss long enough, it stares back at you. But I like what we have here and how we are, and we're starting to get good feedback, and I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm only speaking for me. I think you agree, but I don't want to say I'm speaking for both of us, obviously.
You're a liar!
You will never hear the word normie on this show from me. You will never hear the word beer drinking horror fans on this show from me. You will never hear I might say, somebody's a hardcore horror fan, but it's never meant in a way that means me or others like me are better than you. Like, those things, we will not put down people. I mean, if you want to, the only horror you see is the horror in the movie theaters. To me, you're a horror fan. You don't have to watch all the obscure things that I watch to call yourself a horror fan. You can just watch, the horror that's on Netflix. You're a horror fan. So we welcome everybody here, and I will never use, to me, what are derogatory terms like normie.
You're here.
And yes, that did spring to my mind from a conversation we had earlier this week. I don't think we have any Moto talk, do we?
Nothing. Zilch. I watched an old DVD last night. I thought of you. It was 2002, bar to bar. This is motocross, kind of a little documentary thing. And in 2002, on a 250, there was Chad Reed. It was awesome.
God, he's been around that long.
Yes, sir. And Jason Thomas was on a 125.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. I think Stewart was hurt. And
Carmichael. I am so ready for January. Like, I don't want to rush the holidays, but I'm ready for January.
I think I'm more ready for Christmas this year than I was Halloween. It says something this year. It's been that kind of year. It's been a rough year, but I'm ready for Christmas this year.
I'm ready for Christmas and then going right into Moto. Or I guess Moto's technically not Moto, but you know what I mean. Supercross. January. Here we go. It's hard to believe that, when was it? Was it March, I think? It'll be a year that I watched my first. I remember you'd been on to me for a while about it, and I said I was going to watch it. And if I never knew when I watched randomly on a Saturday night, watched that I would care at all, let alone like I do. Like, it's just fascinating to me. As I die over here.
I'm feeling it. Yeah, apologies, folks. Tonight I am not feeling good at all. The voice is going.
Well, on that note, should we end this?
We better call it a night.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. This has been Cryptophiles, episode 13. Again, we are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, I think. If not, we will be soon, and YouTube.
Oh, yeah? Oh, nice.
Because I think it's just a box I have to check, and I don't remember if I checked the box or not.
Oh, check that box. That's awesome.
So, thanks, everybody, for the feedback. We are on Facebook under, what is it, the Cryptophiles Show? Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Cryptophiles Show.
And,
join our Facebook group.
We put up a question. We'll get to it. We'll
do that next week.
Yeah, everybody a chance to answer. I'll just throw it out on here. If you're not a member of the group, you can either join the group or you can email us, but I don't remember our email. Join the Facebook group if you want to answer the question. It is, what is a movie you think is highly overrated?
You can do TV shows, too.
Yeah, movies, TV shows, and it doesn't have to be... Because
I got one involving zombies that I'm really going to talk about.
Z Nation?
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we will see you next time.